What's good, everybody? It's Koga for 30 here, and welcome back to another Pokemon challenge video. Now, over the last few months, I've been on the shiny grind. Ever since my Radical Red video was released, I've been searching for new Pokemon ROM hacks to play while also attempting the shiny hunt in them. So that's why we're here. I want to see if I can beat Pokemon Crystal Clear using only shiny Pokemon. Now, Pokemon Crystal Clear is a ROM hack created by ShockSlayer that is a wide open sandbox, meaning I can start in any town or city I prefer in, either in Kanto or Johto. Because many obstacles and railroads have been removed, I'm now free to challenge and face all 16 gym leaders in any order I prefer. However, for this challenge, I'm going to start in Kanto and take on every gym leader in Kanto first, which will obviously be randomized with the spin of a wheel. And then, after I'm done with all 8 gym leaders in Kanto, I'm going to head into Johto to take on the gym leaders there. So by the time I'm done with Kanto, the Johto leaders are going to be much more difficult to defeat. Also, I made a rule where I have to obtain a shiny Pokemon for the first 6 gym fights. So by the time I'm almost done with Kanto, I should have a full shiny team ready to go to help me win this challenge. I'm going to try and avoid over leveling, so for the shiny hunts using the deck staff early on, that's actually available to us in this game, so we're able to chain hunt in this game as well. I'm going to leave my shiny starter in the box and use different Pokemon to shiny grind. So if you see a non-shiny Pokemon using, that means I'm probably using that Pokemon to grind out to avoid having like a level 50 shiny overpowered Pokemon already. Before, it would just make the challenge way too easy. You know what I mean? So hit that like and subscribe button and let's get on with getting our shiny starter. Also comment down below if you know of any good Pokemon ROM hacks I should be playing right now. I'm always open to suggestions and I can play anything honestly, but just give me a suggestion down in the comments and I'll look into it. But now let's get on to getting our shiny starter. Before the game even officially begins, we have a multitude of options to choose from as our potential starter. We can have the actual starters from this game, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, or potentially use either a Houndour, Pikachu, the other Kanto starters, and even potentially go and use baby Pokemon. Or if you want to be insane, you could choose a Ditto as your starter. So there are plenty of options to choose from. However, for this challenge, I decided to use a Slowpoke as my shiny starter. In this game, gift Pokemon have only a 1 out of 1024 chance of being shiny compared to the normal encounter rate, which is 1 out of 8192. So it didn't take me too long to finally get a shiny Slowpoke. It only took me about 10 minutes, so now the challenge can officially begin. But first, I need to spin the wheel and decide who my first gym leader battle shall be. The wheel decided to land on Misty as my first gym battle, so before going in there, I decided to get my first shiny hunt going, and the second member of my party to be added was a shiny Oddish. I had never seen a shiny Oddish before, so seeing a gold was pretty cool, and for this challenge, I'm mainly aiming to use Pokemon that I've rarely used before, so with the shiny Oddish in hand, we were able to easily take down Misty and obtain our first gym badge. So now with our first gym badge acquired, it's time to spin the wheel again to see who's next on the chopping block. And the wheel landed on Brock. Okay, just heading back to Pewter City, we can take that down pretty easily. Since we have to take on Brock next, we get shiny hunt near Pewter City, and I decided to look inside Mount Moon for my next shiny hunt. I decided, you know what, let's try to use Geodude as my next shiny Pokemon. You know, I would never really use Golem or Graveler when I used to play Pokemon Stadium or even the original games, because I always just use Rhydon instead. I mean, Rhydon is probably better, but using Golem for this challenge sounded fun, and just look at that shiny. Getting 2 gold shinies in a row is pretty funny, not gonna lie. But now that I got a new shiny added to my team, it's time to take down Brock using my newly acquired Geodude. When we defeated Brock, he actually gave us Earthquake, which is pretty crazy. Does he give you Earthquake in the regular GSC as well? I guess it's endgame basically, but man, Earthquake this early for my Geodude, that's gonna do a lot of damage. But now we gotta spin the wheel next, and sadly, our next opponent will be Erica, a grass type Pokemon. And all my Pokemon basically weak to it, or can't do any real damage against it. But luckily, I got an idea on how to deal with her. In Celadon City, we can get an Eevee up on the roofs on one of the buildings, and this actually counts as a gift Pokemon, and we're able to save to soft reset to get our new shiny Pokemon. Getting the shiny Eevee actually took me a really long time. I have no idea. I know the stats are boosted in this game, making sure you can easily get it, but I was here for like an hour and a half just resetting over and over again to get this shiny Eevee, until finally I was able to get it. But it wasn't staying Eevee for long, as here I could buy some Firestones to evolve it into a Flareon. So now we got our fire counter ready to go to defeat Erica. But for some reason, it can't learn Fire Punch, even though it's a fire type Pokemon. I mean, what the heck? Then why even have it in the first place? Oh well, I guess Flareon can know Ember by level 15, so we're still good to go defeat Erica and get our 3rd gym badge. I have to give this game a lot of credit though. The gym leaders have a variety of Pokemon to use that get much tougher as the more gym badges we collect. So eventually we're going to be facing some pretty strong Pokemon that can prove to be a challenge for me. Before we get our next gym badge attempt, I fought Brock again to level up my Pokemon and evolve my Gloom into Blossom, a good Pokemon that has really high special defense that can help me take on Surge. Yep, that's right, the wheel landed on Surge, so let's get back and take on that war veteran. Also, I forgot to mention, in Celadon City, we have an area where we could buy trade items, so we can actually trade in Celadon City with some dude, and that's how I evolved my Slowpoke into a Slowking. You know, I would always use Slowbro just for the Mega Evolution, but seeing a Slowking like this is pretty cool, so let's now get into Surge one more time. So next up, we had to take on the worst gym leader in Kanto, thanks to Radical Red. I mean, honestly, that Surge fight was still annoying. I can't get over it. I would never get over that Surge fight. It was horrible. However, in the city, I noticed the sleeping Starlags that we could grind for before taking on Surge. But that's when I realized I made a major mistake. See, I have 4 shiny Pokemon ready to go when I should have used Slowpoke to take on Misty, then after grabbing the shiny Oddish so I could add an extra Pokemon when I should just have 3 right now, which basically I want to have a shiny Pokemon for each gym badge. So basically I should have went in first with my Slowpoke to take on Misty and then try to grab a Oddish for Brock, and I just basically have one extra that I shouldn't have. So getting the Snorlax was not on the table, which was a problem as we were able to save before the encounter started and try to reset for a shiny counter, which sucks, so that means I have to run away. So sadly, I had to run away from the Snorlax shiny hunt and instead bully search with Zigolum and obtain my 4th gym badge. Sometimes I get ahead of myself, which stinks because having a Snorlax this early into the game could probably sweep through the rest of Kanto, but oh well. Let's head to Fuchsia City to beat up not Koga, since he's an Elite 4 member in this game, so instead we have to face his daughter. I mean, is he still part of the Elite 4 in this game? I actually don't know, I haven't checked. So going to Fuchsia City, the ROM hack actually changes how the Safari Zone works. So in here, we can use our own Pokemon, have unlimited time, and can shiny hunt in the different areas. So it makes the Safari Zone worth visiting to get a lot of great Pokemon, like a Chansey, Tauros, and even Slugma, because who doesn't love Magcargo? Before going further into the Safari Zone, I was able to battle against this random trainer called Ace Trainer Cat, who was looking for a Chansey. The battle wasn't tough, but seeing the custom shiny Exeggutor was pretty cool to see. And upon winning, she gave me some heavy balls. Don't laugh now. And now I can finally shiny hunt for my next Pokemon. I actually wanted to get a shiny Slugma as I kind of like Magcargo, but it was both rock and fire, which is fine. I mean, I can have one more rock type, but out of nowhere, a random Larvitar decided to say hello and just appear out of nowhere. I didn't expect to see a Larvitar in the Safari Zone. So you know what that means? Yep, I'm going to use a Dex Nav to grind for a Larvitar that I basically knew immediately that was going to be the next member of my team. I'm so sorry, Slugma. I was really going to use you, but I can't say no to a shiny Tyranitar. I mean, it's a Tyranitar. I just can't say no. It's been an OU Pokemon for this long for a reason. Trying to get a shiny Larvitar actually took me a really long time. I don't know why I got so unlucky, but finding the shiny took me nearly 3 hours, and I have no idea why. I just kept resetting, trying to run from the hunts, because luckily running doesn't break the Dex Nav grind, but for some reason, yeah, finding a Larvitar was just proving to be impossible for me. I don't know why I was getting so unlucky, but after a few hours basically, I was able to finally encounter a shiny Larvitar, and this thing nearly refused to join my team. It took so many Pokeballs that I was nearly out by the time I caught it. So now with Larvitar added to my team, it was time to take on Janine, and with Zigolum finally fully evolved, he made quick work of her team, winning me the 5th gym badge. Only 3 more to go before I could finally head out to Johto. I mean, that Larvitar, how annoying. I mean, that was crazy. I only had 1 Pokeball left. Oh my. Next up on the Kanto experience was Blaine, and in this game the Pokemon Mansion is gone since this is New Cinnabar Island. So we either fish for a shiny, which could be really annoying, or we could give our fossil to the people to regenerate and it'll give us an Ammonite instead. With minimal good options available to me, I decided to get a shiny Ammonite to use on my team. Luckily, this is another gift Pokemon, so I had better odds to find a shiny this way. However, we had to wait a while for the Omanyte to be revived. So I headed to Lavender Town to take on an optional trainer fight against DJ Hef. Seeing those custom shiny sprites for each trainer, like a red Scyther, is so cool. I mean, shout out to the game for making these random custom shiny sprites for each person. That is a really nice touch to the game. But after the fight, we got a call saying our Pokemon was ready to be picked up. So now let's try to get ourselves a shiny. I'm debating whether or not to use this as a full-time member on my team. I have too many rock/water type Pokemon as it is, so I really want to diversify my team just a teeny little bit. But only an hour into resetting did I get my shiny Omanyte, which looks so cool, and the idea of replacing it would honestly have to come at a much later time. But for now, I have to take on Blaine and his fire type Pokemon. And the battle went as well as you would expect, since I basically can cover Blaine's entire team with minimal effort. So now I have 6 gym badges, and for the final wheel spin, we landed on Sabrina as our next opponent, leaving Blue as our 8th and final gym fight. How odd is that? What are the odds that Blue would be last to battle? Kind of ironic, don't you think? I was exploring Saffron City before I took on Sabrina, and I stumbled across this random house for sale with a number to call. And now apparently Macho Man Randy Savage has a realtor's license and has been selling houses all across the region. And since I had the money, I thought, you know what, why not? Let's buy the Macho King's listed house. And I'm not gonna lie, these houses looked pretty cool and fit the city they were placed in. I wonder how many houses we could actually buy across Johto and Kanto. But for now, we have the focus on getting our 7th gym badge. So let's try to take on Sabrina, the overpowered witch. This fight wasn't really tough as Zigulum carried the entire fight and wiped out her team, giving me the 7th gym badge and then TM for Psychic, which is going to help my Slowking out a lot for future battles, because only having Water Gun and Confusion as my only proper moves isn't a recipe for success, not gonna lie. But now, let's go take on Blue. But now I've done it. I've attained 7 gym badges, leaving only one Kanto gym leader in my way, Blue. And this fight was not going to be easy. He had a stacked team like he had in the original games, and I knew I couldn't stop now, since I was so close to defeating all the gym leaders in Kanto, and Johto was just on the horizon. This fight was challenging, as although I had great counters to his team, he also had counters to my Pokemon as well. Having a Blastoise that knows Ice Beam and could easily wipe me out if I got too carried away was really dangerous. But luckily, after the Blastoise went down, not much could stand in my way, not even the Alakazam. It was just a few more Pokemon down, I was able to obtain my 8th gym badge. Finally, Kanto is taken care of and I can head to the Johto region to see what lies ahead. Upon entering the Johto region, I was able to get a Togepi egg from the professor. I was so tempted to use a Togetic for this video, but I had another Pokemon in my mind to be the final member of my team. So Togepi had to sadly go back into the PC, but let's spin the wheel now to see who our first gym leader is going to be in Johto. And the wheel landed on Bugsy. You know what? This should be an interesting fight considering that now Bugsy should have a Scizor instead of a Scyther. So let's see how that matchup goes down. Also, Azalea Town has been invaded by a bunch of Slowpoke. I guess this is what happens when the Slowpoke population runs rapid in a well? But you know what? We're going to ignore that. They were able to break out and invade the city. Oh my god, wait a minute. We can't ignore this now. What the heck is going on? But now it's not the time to worry about the Slowpoke population, as we had to take on Bugsy for our first Johto gym leader battle. And this fight could have been very intense if that Heracross kept hitting Fury Cutter. My team probably could have gotten swept, but I had Zigula with me to help neutralize the Heracross and then Flareon to take care of the rest. So we were able to obtain our first Johto gym badge. Let's see what the wheel has in store for us now. Faulkner, really? Really? Faulkner? What? How am I getting the first 2 gym leaders from each region in a different order? That's really bizarre. What's going on here? Upon leaving Azalea Town, I saw in the grass this weird Wooper try to be some kid in a Wooper costume. He had a pretty intimidating team with a shiny Crobat that looked absolutely amazing. But it wasn't enough to defeat me even with his Quagsire, so I was able to defeat the Wooper kid and it gave me some free rare candies. Wow, this fight was pretty worth it, not gonna lie. But now let's head to Faulkner's gym and beat him up with the power of my Rock-type Pokemon. Yeah, this fight was super easy once the Skarmory was taken care of. I decimated Faulkner's entire team. Flying types just aren't terrifying to me thanks to my shiny squad. So let's see where we're heading to next. Do we have to take on Claire this early? Oh boy. Oh, this is not good. Looks like I'm getting my final team member early, I suppose. I didn't want to do this, but you left me no choice, game. Getting a shiny Swinub took me forever. I mean, it literally took me forever. I started attempting to get a shiny Swinub at like 10 a.m. Pacific time. I finally got the shiny at around 2:55 p.m. Yeah, it nearly took me 5 hours to get a shiny Swinub. I have no idea why. I guess it's just my luck being that bad, but oh my god, that took me forever. It was so annoying. But after a while, I finally got the shiny Swinub and it looked amazing. I mean, 10 out of 10. It was just so annoying. I mean, I've never had that bad odds before. Even the game was set on turbo mode, I couldn't even get it that fast. It was crazy. But after I finally got my shiny Swinub, I decided to bully Faulkner's fly type team again to get my Swinub leveled up just enough to evolve into a Pillow Swine. So after saying goodbye to the shiny Obastar, it was time to take on Claire with our new teammate Manfred. And I am so glad I didn't have to face her when her Dragonairs became Dragonites, because that fight would have been just the worst. Honestly, it would have been super difficult, even with my team. But thanks to the level cap just being barely below the Dragonair's evolution level, I was able to defeat Claire with my team and get my third Johto gym badge. Next up, we had to take care of Chuck. Usually a joke of a gym leader, but this time, I don't think he's going to be the same free win like he normally is in the OG series. Since there's not an abundance of Fire-type Pokemon in Gen 2, the creator of the ROM hack had to think creatively and use Ursaring and Granbull alongside Poliwrath and the other Fire-type Pokemon to make this work. Also, Chuck had a Shuckle whose name is, and I'm not even kidding here, is Chuckle. Chuckle? Oh my god, that's amazing. Simply an amazing 10 out of 10, best ROM hack ever. How can I compete with Chuckle? It's a Chuckle! Luckily, I had Toxic on my Slowking, which meant poor Chuckle had to go bye-bye, giving me the win. And hey, we didn't even need to go far, as our next opponent was going to be Jasmine, the Steel-type gym leader. This fight is just going to be a defensive battle, isn't it? Okay. However, I decided to go train before facing Jasmine, and I wanted to just bully Erica to get the enough levels, and Erica had a Celebi just chilling with her. Why does she have a legendary all of a sudden? Do the other gym battles have legendary Pokemon as well? You know what? After I get all 16 gym badges, I'm going to re-challenge every single gym leader before I take on the Elite Four champion, as I am really curious as to what broken Pokemon each gym leader could have. I mean, if Erica had a Celebi, what's Blue going to have? Oh no, don't tell me. Oh, I'm terrified. After being bullied by Erica's Celebi, it was finally time to take on Jasmine and her strong steel types, and Jasmine had a Blastoise? Wait, what? Wait, what's going on here? Hey, wait a minute, that isn't a Steel type, she's pulling a Chuck. What? Really? Okay. But I'm not gonna lie, this fight was really easy. Flareon did a lot of work, and I was able to clean up with Zigulum if I had to. So, that's another Johto gym badge acquired, and next up on the chopping block was Whitney and her normal type team. Oh my god, a level 70 plus Miltank could prove to be problematic. I mean, really problematic. But we can't stop now. Facing off against Whitney was no laughing matter. She had a scary Miltank, a Gen 1 Destroyer in Tauros, and even a high HP Blissey, so this fight was going to be up to my entire team to pull in all the effort. But thanks to a lucky crit with Flareon, it was able to defeat 2 of Whitney's Pokemon before falling to Tauros. I had Slowking coming to take on the Tauros, but its defenses were pretty bad, so it was at the yellow health by the time Tauros was taken down. Statler was next, but it was taken down by Zigulum, leaving only Blissey. I was really worried at first because I thought the Blissey was just going to stall me out, and I knew Explosion wasn't going to do the trick. So I had to switch to the Gyarados to put up a Sandstorm and slowly chip away at the Blissey. Putting in Gyarados was worth it, as eventually the Blissey went down, namming us our 6th Johto gym badge. Only Morning and Price were left before the endgame could truly commence. And for our second to last gym leader, we had to take down Price, the Ice-type gym leader. This fight was going to be really tricky, as this is the first type I don't have a clear counter against. I mean, I have Human Torch the Flareon that could possibly win me the battle just by itself, but you know what, let's try it out. Let's just try out to level up our Pokemon and see how the fight goes. You know the annoying part about Price's team? It's the fact that most of the ice types in Gen 1 or Gen 2 are also water types, meaning Flareon can't do much here as fire will be neutral. That's so annoying, as Price even has a freaking Articuno in his disposal. Okay, seriously, what's with these gym leaders having legendary and mythical Pokemon? Are the Elite Four just gonna have the most broken Pokemon and just bully me to death? So no, I had to worry about facing the Articuno, but luckily Human Torch came in clutch and was able to defeat it even as it went for a Reflect for some reason. I don't know why I did that. I had mainly special attack moves, so yeah, why'd you go for Reflect, Articuno? What? Goldish and Human Torch put in the work here. Even with the fear of a Blizzard or Ice Beam hitting, I was able to use the Golem last against Price's Piloswine and secure the victory. All that remains now is Morty and his Ghost-type Pokemon. I know Slowking can do massive damage against whatever he has, so I feel like I'm good to go. Also in the markets, they're now selling rare candies, so it's going to make grinding against the Elite Four that much more easier. But now let's head to Morty's gym to get our 16th and final gym badge. So here we are at our final gym leader, and this one's going to be tough as we had to face off against Morty and his stacked Ghost-type Pokemon, and then Ariados. What? Man, we are scraping at the bottom of the barrel of what we could use as gym leader Pokemon, and wait a minute, how come Morty has a Ho-Oh as his final Pokemon? No shot. How is that even possible? Why does he have a Ho-Oh? Wait, what? That's not even a Ghost-type Pokemon. What the hell? Why do you have a... Why do you have a Ho-Oh? However, even with a powerful Sacred Fire hitting Zagolem, it just wasn't enough, meaning I was able to acquire all 16 gym badges and defeat every single gym leader in both Johto and Kanto. Now I guess it's time to take down everyone else again and see what new teams they have in store for me. If everyone has a legendary, this is going to be super annoying. Please have mercy on me, ROM Hack. I just got through Radical Red. Please have mercy. Now that we've gotten all 16 gym badges, it's finally time to take on the Elite Four and Champion, right?
Wrong!
Not quite, as now we're going to rematch every single gym leader except for Morty since Riri took him out for last. So now we're going to go through each gym leader again and see what type of Pokemon they got in store for us. Sadly, this is where I make a major mistake when doing the battle, because the Elite Four and Champion fight do not scale with the level I'm currently at. So instead of facing them with level 80 plus Pokemon, they got only level 50 plus Pokemon. So they're basically 30 levels lower than my actual team. Meaning, I should have just fought the Elite Four after I defeated Blue to make the fights much more interesting. I honestly thought that the game would progress with me, making the fights much more difficult as the gym leaders level up tremendously after each victory. So I thought it would be like that for the Elite Four and Champion because it does that with the gym leaders. So how come we didn't do that with the gym leaders? How come we did that with the gym leaders and not the actual Elite Four and Champion? It's really weird. I mean, they never really said to take on the Elite Four after I get the 8 gym badges. It's there as an option, but it's not mandatory. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, take on the Elite Four now and Champion. It's like, okay, I would have done that. But no, it didn't really say that. So, you know, I just thought I had to take on the rest of Kanto and Johto first before I could make a valid attempt at the Pokemon League. That's my fault. So instead, here's a fun little montage of me beating up every single gym leader. And obviously, since this is a Gen 2 ROM hack, we have a battle at Mount Silver with Red, or whoever will be at the top. So let's get these gym leaders completed and get on with the Pokemon League. Here we go. After taking on every single gym leader once again, we finally made it to the Pokemon League and are ready to take our place as champions. Also, I love the design of the Pokemon League as it reminds me of Black and White's floor area, and that game was simply amazing. Shout out to Gen 5, just a great series of games. But now I have to take on the game's Elite Four, and they've all replaced Bruno, Lance, and the other people I don't care to remember for. This time we're facing new and improved Elite Four members, and first off we gotta face Rowan. He wasn't too difficult, but I am curious if this is supposed to be a younger version of Professor Rowan from Gen 4, and the fact that he has a variety of different Pokemon types makes it seem like he actually could be. That's actually really interesting. I didn't really realize that at first. I only realized it now when editing this video that, oh my god, wait a minute, is that Rowan? Oh my god, it is. But never mind the future professor, as we took him down, and next up we had to wake some poor old man who was just sleeping on the bench. These designed for Elite Four's arenas are really astonishing, but too bad since I'm too overleveled, none of Doom's Pokemon could compete against mine, and the fight was probably the easiest one out of the 4 Elite Four battles. I'm not gonna lie, he was really easy. Now next up was the third member of the Elite Four, Fiber Beef? I honestly have no idea how to say their name, but this fight was also pretty simple. The fact that each Elite Four member could have their own mascot as well was pretty cool to see. I mean, Doom had a shiny Ammonite, Fiber Beef had a shiny Togepi, and the final Elite Four member had a Slowpoke, chilling behind them. So they each had unique teams to face off against that were all balanced pretty well, surprisingly. The Elite Four were really cool, but now since I've taken care of all of them, now it's finally time to take on the champion of the Crystal Clear area. Let's do this. The champ's time was up and my time was now, as after defeating all of the Elite Four, it was time to take on our final opponent. And it turns out it was a creator of this ROM hack, ShockSlayer. He's the only thing standing between me and victory, and seeing all the custom sprites again for his team makes me want to see that actually happen for a new Pokemon ROM hack. Just insert like a new character and just have them all have custom sprites. That'd be really cool. Just imagine a different shiny Rayquaza. That sounds really cool. But with the power of Human Torch and Zigolum, ShockSlayer didn't stand a chance, and I defeated him to finally become Pokemon League champion. Is what I would say, but out of nowhere, like a shark smelling blood, a shiny Swinub rushed me and wanted to take me out. Too bad I have my other shiny Swinub now fully evolved into Manny, but could you imagine if you just won against the champion with barely like any HP at all, and all of a sudden you just see this random Swinub just try to take you out for revenge? That would be terrifying, and if that happened to me, I would just quit right then and there, right on the spot. But we all know that this isn't the end. Let's climb up Mount Silver and see who our real last opponent shall be. Surprisingly enough, the final fight of the ROM hack isn't with Red, but this time instead I have to take on Green. Wow, I honestly didn't expect that. That's actually a nice change of pace, even though she basically is the same fight as Red, but instead of having an overpowered Pikachu, Green has a Ditto for some reason. I mean, a free kill I suppose, but this fight was pretty simple. Her team was still only in the mid 80s, and they were still no match with the power of the shinies. So that's it. That's the challenge. I hope you enjoyed the Pokemon challenge video, and hey, wait, what is this? When you found yourself with nothing left to conquer, come find me in the Forge. Oh my god, wait a minute. Are we going to edit maps on Halo 3 now? Well, actually no, because the real fight is located inside the Forge against ShockSlayer. So let's actually finish this ROM hack once and for all. I mean, how many final fights are we going to get? Like, too many actually. But not enough final fights, I suppose. So apparently, ShockSlayer is just chilling out here for some reason. Mining stuff, forging stuff. I mean, he may give you a sword for some reason. And he also gave me a pickaxe outside of the Forge. Which is odd. But you know what? That's pretty cool. I mean, we get a practice round. We could try out and test before the final battle. And his team is pretty cool, not gonna lie. I think he has a different team from his champion fight. But still. They're still level 75, and apparently I heard that the final boss is going to be in the mid 90s and even possibly level 100, so yeah, this fight is going to be terrifying. I might need to train, so you know what? We're going to have this practice round and show up the final fight after, and I'm probably going to get to level 100, so let's go show off all of our level 100 Pokemon. To say I am ready for the final battle would be an understatement, as we have Goldish, Jira's ready to go. Manny's ready to go. I mean, look at the shiny for Piloswine. I still don't get why it's a shiny. I mean, it doesn't look any different from the regular shiny. But anyway, we got Human Torch, the Flareon, all ready to go with Leftovers and Zap Cannon that missed a lot, not gonna lie. Zigolem with Soft Stand with Earthquake, Explosion for the memes, Rollout, and Fire Punch just in case, just for the coverage, just in case. And my first Pokemon that ever got shiny, Slowking. So now, this is it. Let's go take on ShockSlayer once and for all and actually end this ROM hack. Ooh, this is gonna be tough, isn't it? So here we go. This is it. The final battle of the ROM hack. ShockSlayer's real team, and oh my god, they're all level 90. And this is terrifying. Of course, Sizzle will just use Substitute first, just to be annoying, with Hidden Power. I mean, not very effective. Wonder what it was. Hidden Power Fire, I guess? I don't know, actually. But this team is rough. He has custom shinies and just really, really good Pokemon to go. But with Zigolem and Human Torch, we made mint speed of the shiny Scizor and the shiny Tyranitar. Also, yeah, this fight was pretty easy, not gonna lie. I prepared to get to level 100, and this are the things I get. Well, it turns out this wasn't actually the final fight. Apparently, to get the final fight, you need to get all the Pokemon, all what 252, and I got the Snorlax and let it run away, so I can't get the final real battle. So this is just a simulation you can get at the Pokemon League. Yeah, sorry about that. I tried to do it, but turns out it's impossible for me, so that sucks. But this is technically the final fight as well. I hope you all enjoyed this Pokemon Crystal Clear Shinies Only video, and I'll catch you guys for the next Pokemon Challenge video, which will probably be about Pokemon Elite Redux. I really want to play that one. I know I got Pokemon XD currently going right now, so if you're watching this and watching that as well, thank you so much for watching, because that series is also fun, and catch you guys for the next episode. Later, everyone.